Hello and welcome to day 40 of Dungeon 23. Today we're going to be making an addition onto the skeleton room here. And it's going to be technically two rooms because I have an idea for a room with a gimmick. And also I want to make this a secret room. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make this guy just sectioned off here. We'll put a note saying that there's a door in one of these guys and the DC for it. And I also want to have the room be... Let's see here. Alright, here we are. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. So here's our room layout. And other than this hidden room here, what are we going to put in here? Well, we're going to put a lever. I have a lever right here. It's not that big. Whoop. Here. Token layer. Actually, this guy could be on the GM layer. So what it does is, let's get our note guy out. Text. Always bright green. Zoom in here. One door is always closed. Pulling the lever let's give it a DC 12. Check will switch which door is closed. So basically what it is just these big metal shutter doors, and when you flip this lever it swaps which ones are open. And that's because what I want to do is have later rooms basically form two different pathways, so that if you're being chased by like the hook horror or any other monster, you run in here and you pull that lever. If you get there in time and you close the door behind them, they can't get through and they have to go all the way around. So it's a good way to buy yourself some time. And sure, you can like babysit the lever, and that way you could just turn it when you see the monster coming the other way, or you could flip it, do a perception check, just here, run away, and then flip it so that way when it gets to the other side it's already closed. You have a massive head start. Basically, not submarine doors, but it acts kind of similar to it, and that one door is always closed. But it also means that if you do go to that other way and you're being cornered and you get chased by that monster, that door's not going to open. It's a giant metal door. You're not going to be able to open that. So you got to be careful about your route. You got to plan your route. You got to make sure that you don't accidentally get yourself trapped in a room with a monster. And it's a very simple gimmick, and I think it would work, or is going to work really well. Hopefully it does. And I put a DC 12 strength on it because DC 12 is pretty simple, but also it's still a it's still like a challenge. But just a GM layer, and now we just have this room here. I'm not sure what we should put into it. Alright, here's an idea. Alright, text. Let's do DC. Let's do 15. And let's just do room contains Alright, here we are. I have a better idea. Put this guy here. Layer, GM layer. And now, let's go back to our art library. We're going to again put down a skeleton. The difference being this, it's called maintenance skeleton. As you can see, I cannot spell. Maintenance. Skeleton. This skeleton has on him one can of oil because he's going to be in charge of the lever. This removes the DC of the lever. And he's also going to have, let's see here, 1d4 cases of crossbow bolts. Why does he have oil? To maintain the lever and the doors. Why does he have bolts? Because in the other room, there's skeletons shooting at each other, and they're eventually gonna, run out of bolts, and he has to go in and restock them. Why? Because he is the maintenance skeleton. A maintenance skeleton. Now, a big question for a lot of dungeons is, oh, why is this thing here? How is there fresh food in the dungeon? Who's keeping the floor swept? Why is there lit torches? Why is there this, that? It's because this is a wizard's pet project, and he has basically robots maintaining it. Because skeletons are basically robots. They're not very intelligent, although they could follow specific demands. And now, I think undead, well, alright, so animate dead. What the spell does is when you use it to animate a corpse, you can make it a zombie or a skeleton, and it obeys you for exactly 24 hours, in which case you have to recast the spell to maintain control over it. Now, there's basically an unofficial rule in D&D that if you cast a spell every day for a year, it becomes permanent. Because there are some spells in 5th edition that do that. But the idea is, like, if you cast Tiny Hut in this one spot every day for a year, then you've just basically created a permanent Tiny Hut. Now, it could still be, like, dispel magic or anti-magic or not counter-spelled because it's already done. But it can still be, like, removed with other magics. But it's permanent. Its duration is not going to run out, and it doesn't need concentration. So, I imagine it's very similar with Animate Dead. That's just kind of how I roll spells working. But also, like, if you have an NPC doing basically NPC magic, things work out for them. Like, yeah, there's no spell that does this one thing, so the NPC can just do the thing. Kind of like how certain enemies in Skyrim can teleport. Like that one wizard lady you fight when you have to get the books back for the College of Winterhold quest. She could teleport around, even though, like, the player can't do that, and, like, even, like, no other wizard in the game does that. Well, actually, I think maybe a few do. I don't know. I think Harkin teleports you away. Which, now that I think about it, why does he do that later on in the game? Why is it, once you become a vampire and betray him, why does he just teleport you to the, like, outside, into the sun? I don't know, I've kind of lost the plot here. Anyway, what's important is that, yeah, NPCs could kind of do things that normal NPCs can't. Or rather, NPCs could do things that normal players can't, Players can't do this thing, but NPCs can, even though it's unfair. Which is why I like Call of Cthulhu, because there's no such thing as NPC magic. If the big bad evil guy has his spell written down, the players could do it. It's magic in Call of Cthulhu's insanely powerful. But again, I'm kind of missing the point here. The important thing is that I imagine if skeletons were permanently bound to someone, and you gave them a command and walked away, they would continue to do that command forever and ever and ever until told to stop, like a computer. Pretty sure that entire tangent and rant was completely unnecessary, but it padded out the runtime. So with that said, we're going to save the settings. This guy's all good. I'm not going to draw the doors because they're going to be constantly changing anyway. Again, you know, algorithm stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I apologize for the poor quality. It is not going to get any better.